Abusuani komo ewo channel social so am say how say AGH Politics Avenue. Podcast for secretary na mekwesi make headlines na jembre na ADB exum wo. Onia, we breaking news emfa bi ensom sisi e former CJ Torkonoo was a storming Ecowas court bi enya asem koto akra. Now this time around there Ecowas the statement about abonten so ya jembre ADB esen esum wo ne se mo ka nyina se omo ebe sete dapotia woni nsema wode ekodan Ecowas court no omo ebetimi ebu asem no prekope eno ena project fryer no ede ato screen so ede amaw no efa removal of CG Torkonoo ehono we say ena eka or say removal of CG Torkonoo Ecowas community court to set date for final judgment in the case onia yajemre na EDB exumwo but as wajemre ewa yembo inra yensemu.
And then we're going to arrest him. How did that get to you?
Well, to be candid, I'm not surprised at all that Honorable Ohene Frimpong is being arrested in this fashion. The answer is glaring. No, it's about the Oforiatta case.
How?
Oh, yes,
how do you link the two?
Oh, yeah, straight. We don't need to mince words about this.
I see.
It's become clear to us that Oforiatta is not coming anytime soon, right? Because he has the best of lawyers. The initial when it was said, people say, why do you say top-notch for lawyers? You know, John Ashcroft is one of the first persons to have supported Donald Trump when it was unpopular. But he looked in the crystal ball and saw that, look, the American people will vote for this man. So he was one of the first guys to get off the blocks to throw his support behind Donald Trump, and it worked. So when you have John Ashcroft as your lawyer, and he's a registered lobbyist. You see, Ghana, we don't have lobbyists specifically as professionals, even though they exist within the system. But in the US, they are registered, okay? They work in the government circles to get things done. And you know, extradition is largely political. Let's not forget that even when a judge has made the orders that, look, this person be extradited, I want the person surrounded, etc., that's not the final word. The final word is with Donald Trump. Of course, on paper, you say the Secretary of State, that's their foreign minister. But the Secretary of State derives his or her powers from Donald Trump, right? So you can connect the dots and see that as long as John Ashcroft is connected to Donald Trump, to have Oforiatta here is going to be really complex, really difficult, right? So what I see is that because of that situation where Oforiatta is not coming anytime soon, it would have just been, let me say, too much to ask the Ghanaian government to bring Ohene, Frimpong, that's the MP. It would have been too much, because even for Abutrika's case, you see that Ghanaians have become very savvy. Go to social media, and the chorus now is, until Oforiatta returns, Abutrika is not leaving. That's very clear to us as a people. I know the FBI, they have agents here in Ghana. There are lots of Ghanaians who are even agents for them. They pick intelligence. They have an office. They have an office, etc. So they are here. Everything we discuss, these programs, they monitor all these programs. So they know the sentiment of the Ghanaian. So they know that now we've become savvy that, we've sent them too many people. So until they bring Oforiatta, we don't want any of our citizens going. Okay? So to ask the Ghanaian government to bring Ohene Frimpong, it would have been a row here. So that's why there was no official request? Yes, because that would be putting too much. That would be asking Ghana too much. Because the Abutrika one is pending. Abutrika is not going anytime soon. That is the verdict of the Ghanaian people. That until the US government returns Oforiatta to Ghana, Abutrika and the co-conspirators, etc., they are not leaving. Yes. You see, my colleague agrees. We all agree.
No, please. We all don't agree.
No, okay.
No.
I'm talking about Amanda Clay.
No, please.
Yeah, so let me
leave. We are all on the panel. Don't say we all agree. So say Martin Pebu's position.
No, so
and you even said Ghanaians. I don't think Ghanaians. I don't think you should say all Ghanaians. Say,
obviously, it's majority.
No. You've not done any polls on that. We've not had Musa Dankwa do anything. Please, if you want to pay Musa Dankwa, we'll do it for you. But please, on this panel, say Martin Pebu's position. Don't include us.
No, you can't say that. When it's your turn, you can
include us. You made a statement. Don't include us.
No, but you've made your point. And I'm saying, what did I say? I say you go to social media. So I showed you my source. I said, go to social media and you find the chorus now is that we've become savvy. That
some Ghanaians.
It's obvious. And when I say social media, it's obvious that I think you are becoming disruptive. It's obvious. No, you are getting disruptive. It's obvious. It's no-brainer. If you say social media, who is telling you that that's all of the media? Come on.
All right, let's
no. I think you are becoming disruptive.
Now, so the issue as established that you are. I'm not trying to get the link between the Oforiatta case and then how things are playing out now.
Yeah.
But then again, there's an established treaty which is active, working, and has been employed in a number of instances.
Yeah.
I mean, does it give room for such exceptions?
Oh, look, I told you, extradition is politics. That's what it is. And in politics, the number one thing they will tell you is that it's always about the nation's interests. So as for the document, don't put too much premium on it. Remember, this is an old document. Even when you read it, you read the extradition treaty, some of the words and how we are interpreting it today is something for another day. So simply, yes, you can have an agreement that somebody can drive a coach and a nail through it. So it's not too much about the document. It's all about the political might, right? Yes, that's why it is. When it comes to diplomatic relations, etc., it's about your bargaining power. Yes, there's a document, but this document, when you read the Vienna Convention, they've made 1,001 exceptions. Though there's an agreement, the exceptions are always developing because it's about geopolitics. It's the relations. It's the relations. And beneath the relations is the political might. You see, Donald Trump had to get up to go to China. He needs help on the Strait of Hormuz.
Yes.
A few years ago, who would have thought that Trump would be on his knees with the Chinese? And you heard Xi Jinping making it very clear that the U.S. and China are equal. They are equal. None is subservient to the other, etc. So this whole thing is about the bargaining power. It's about the power. It's about power. It's not too much about the white and black letter of the
So that's why the U.S. would have rather waited for him to get out of the jurisdiction?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
To have him detained.
Yes, absolutely. Because I can't imagine that we would have given out Ohene Frimpong willingly when Oforiatta has not been brought here. No, those days are gone. Now we've all become wise, and we say locally that kwasienitia na agroegu. So we have also become wise. So now that we've become wise, that means that the dynamics are changing. So if the dynamics are changing, what do they have to do? They'll just wait for the person they are looking for to cross our shores, and then if that other country is a country that they can collaborate with to arrest, they arrest. Beyond that, when later all the facts become clear, the other fact that we'll be looking at is what was Ohene Frimpong doing, the MP, at that time in the Netherlands? Because you see, when you hold a diplomatic passport, most probably a service passport, it doesn't mean that for all your businesses you are covered. No. If you're on a private trip, it's not covered. If you're on a private trip, it's not covered. So it's not as if you have a diplomatic passport, then any and everything. Like we've already said, there have been many exceptions. In the US, there are 1,001. We can't even count here, where diplomats have been arrested, diplomats have been prosecuted, human rights violations, very serious offenses, etc. And what they are talking about is quite serious enough. To be in that category that, look, if it's a very serious offense... That is what
he's been alleged to have done.
Exactly.
So the diplomatic immunities that can't kick in this instance.
Yes, it's not everything that your diplomatic immunity covers. And the Vienna Convention will recognize that because there have been many cases in the U.S., right? Even in Ghana, we referred cases. So it's not everything. Maybe where there is time, we can look into the provisions of the convention.
No, it's important as well. I mean, and then that leads me to this one: whether there's actually a real issue there or a real question to be asked regarding Article 117. Is there a question as to whether the immunities extended to a member of parliament in Ghana while on his way to or involved in the business of discharging his work as his or her work as a member of parliament, does it extend outside of the jurisdictions of Ghana, specifically 117?
No, not in this case. No. Not in this case. Our laws are for us and to be obeyed by the Ghanaian people and the government. So to the extent that Ohene Frimpong was outside in the Netherlands, it's not 117 we'll be using, but rather we'll be looking at the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations, 1961. And that's why I've said that there have been cases where they've made exceptions, arrested diplomats in the US, prosecuted them, etc., sent people, even the bags. Ordinarily, the diplomatic bag, they don't search it, etc. But if there is suspicion that you're carrying cocaine and other contraband, they search it. The most popular search is the Diko affair. The Diko affair, when they searched the Nigerian former minister, where the Israelis and so the Nigerian government collaborated in the 70s and early 80s to have him. They put him in a diplomatic bag. They put him in the container, blah, blah. So ordinarily, though they don't search it, but when there was suspicion that, no, there could be a crime, the UK authorities searched it. They opened, and there you have it. Diko was inside the diplomatic bag. And so people were prosecuted, right? Yes, so the law is not meant to favor or promote somebody's crimes. No, when you read the Vienna Convention of Diplomatic Relations, even in the preamble, they tell you that it is not for individual benefit. It is to promote the functioning of the state, right? So even from the preamble, you just see straight away that this is not an aid. It is not for promotion of crime. It is not at all. So the moment they see that you're using the diplomatic privileges, etc., to further crime, no, they'll stop you. They'll stop you. Listen to this. The preamble says, one of them, realizing that the purpose of such privileges and immunities is not to benefit individuals, but to ensure the efficient performance of the functions of diplomatic missions as representing states. So the whole arena of diplomacy, etc., is not for crime. Of course, we also, naturally, every system is not foolproof. True. Yes, people are able to use it to aid certain things. But as a state, yes, sometimes the state itself commits certain crimes in order to make sure that the state moves on well, right? Yeah, it's normal. But when you get caught, like they say, the thief is the one who is being caught. So on paper, it's not meant to aid that. The moment there is the suspicion of a big crime, serious enough, they'll open, like I said, they opened the diplomatic box and found Diko, the former minister, is of transport or something. You can Google it, you see. It was found in there. And many other ones. In the US, as I've said, there have been prosecutions, right?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Counsel, thank you for this. And yes, Ms. Clinton, you wanted to make a point quickly?
Yes, I think the Netherlands is one of the better places for him to have been apprehended in terms of the UK and the Netherlands. He may be able to fight extradition more in terms of they consider procedural and human rights objections. And I would say the Netherlands does so more than the UK. And the UK has prevented the extradition of Pinochet and Assange, very much on, strong legal arguments. And so if he gets good lawyers to make strong legal arguments in the Netherlands, he could well beat this, but certainly not on immunity alone, because he doesn't enjoy full immunity, given the fact that he isn't a consulate employee, etc. So the Netherlands is basically going to look at things like treaty compliance, dual criminality, fair trial rights, prison conditions, proportionality, as well as if there's any political motivations involved, which in this case there isn't. And his lawyers will throw everything, I think, into his defense. Ordinarily, although some people have mooted that it could take a month, I think he should try and push it for longer, in case they go into deeper arguments. But from the little I've heard, I think Ghana is going to fight the extradition. But in fighting it, Article 117 is unlikely to protect him outside the jurisdiction. And with the Vienna Convention, he doesn't get full immunity anyway, just because he wasn't a consulate employee, etc. So the best thing he can do is to fight it on procedural and human rights objections, basically.
I see. And Nelson Roxon Daviambo is the majority chief whip in this ninth parliament. He's a member of parliament for the South Dyke constituency. Good morning to you, Honorable. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning to my co-panelists.
Perfect.
Good morning to your viewers.
Great. Now, Prof, I want you to hold on a bit for me so we get some information regarding what has happened. Then I'll come to you. Please. When this matter became public about 5 days ago, almost, one of the issues that came up was when he left Ghana, when he was arrested, and what more we do know. What have you been informed? Because he's doing business with you in Parliament.
Yes, of course. Thank you very much. I've spoken a lot on this matter. This happened on Sunday. So he left here exactly a week today on KLM. And normally KLM takes off at night around 9, 10. But I think they left here around 10. KLMBA, they normally leave around 10. So and he was on his way to London. He has a family in London. He has children in London. So he frequents London as his script. I know that. So naturally, when we're on KLM, you transit through Schiphol.
Yeah.
So they got to Schiphol and there was a scene.
There was a scene?
Yeah. So they interrogated him for some minutes and then intercepted him, sort of detained him. So his call, normally all my call, they call me at any time because the call was coming around 5:30, yeah, I should say. But I didn't see.
5:30 a.m.
a.m. But I didn't see. You know, that's when you
on the Sunday.
You get to Schiphol around 5. So when you are going through the motions,
By 6,
So
6:30.
by 5:30, the call was coming. But I didn't pick. I was in the village. We had a difficult, a tedious Saturday then. So, but he was in the company of another colleague MP. So he also started calling. But then, so in a matter of minutes, I've had like 15 calls in between the two. So eventually I picked his.
That is the colleague MP?
Yes, that's Ohene. And he
That's
said,
Ohene?
yes, and he said, boss, quick, I'm being arrested. And he likes to speak tree with me. He's the one who spoke tree in Parliament. But he's been on an agenda that he wants to speak tree in Parliament, so he likes to. And then he started, and I said, okay. Then he handed me over to the other colleague.
We ain't some who team course watching on the so I'm not so Jim Red. I say, Obadi India do be Adumiania. Unia, ever sang Asumo.